Good day. Today we will be discussing the language policy of two Asian countries, Myanmar and Cambodia. So our goal is to compare how these nations manage their official and indigenous language, the role of English in their education system, and the challenges they face in implementing language policies. Our research focuses on one main question: how do Myanmar and Cambodia develop and implement their language policies, and what are their impacts on education, governance, and national identity? So let's begin with the official languages. Myanmar official languages is Burmese, while Cambodia is Khmer. So these languages are used in education, governance, and media. So in Myanmar, Burmese is the medium of the instruction in school. Indigenous languages are rarely included in formal education, and English is a secondary language, mainly used in higher education and international business. While in Cambodia, Khmer is used in all government and educational settings. French and English are commonly used in business and diplomacy. Now let's discuss how these countries balance their national languages with indigenous languages. So Myanmar, over with 100 indigenous languages exist, but Burmese dominates official communication. Efforts to include indigenous languages in schools are limited. While in Cambodia, Khmer is prioritized, but indigenous languages are recognized in some educational programs. However, resources for indigenous languages educations are limited. So English is an important global language, but its role varies between Myanmar and Cambodia. So Myanmar, English is growing in importance, especially in higher education and international business. However, it is not widely spoken in rural areas. While in Cambodia, English education is widely spoken in tourism, business, and education. Some universities use English as their primary language of instruction. So, what are the challenges that they faced? So, both countries face significant challenges in implementing their language policies. In Myanmar, anti-conflicts over language rights, resistance to using indigenous languages in education, and limited access to English educational in rural areas. While in Cambodia, balancing Khmer, English, and French in education and governance. Lack of government resources for indigenous languages program, and the rise of English language private schools, creating educational inequalities. So for comparative analysis, now let's compare the language policies of Myanmar and Cambodia. So for the aspect official language, Myanmar, Burmese, and Khmer. Indigenous languages, 100 plus languages in Myanmar but limited recognition, while in Cambodia, some recognition in education. In English role, Myanmar used in business and higher education, while in Cambodia, it is widely used in education and business. So challenges in Myanmar: ethics conflicts, lack of bilingual education, and in Cambodia, balancing Khmer, English, and French. So Myanmar has a strong national identity but limited indigenous language rights, while in Cambodia there are more globalized but educational inequalities due to the rise of English language in schools. So one of the examples of Myanmar's language policy in action is the conflict over the Rohingya language. So the government does not officially recognize it, making it difficult for the Rohingya community to access the education in their native language. While in Cambodia, English language private schools are becoming more popular. So this allows students to learn global languages, but also create a divide between those who can afford private education and those in public system. To summarize, Myanmar prioritizes national unity through Burmese language but struggles with ethnic conflicts and exclusion of indigenous language. Cambodia, on the other hand, embraced globalization by integrating English and French, but faces challenges in maintaining Khmer as the primary national language. So I recommend the following improvements in their language policies. So for Myanmar, introduce the bilingual education programs to support the indigenous languages while maintaining the national unity. While in Cambodia, they can provide equal access to quality Khmer and English education in both public and private schools. So in the future, both countries must continue refining their language policies to support national identity while embracing Asia's goals of regional cooperation and economic growth. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.